This is another Ben Shapiro video. TikTok gym women shaming men for glancing at their spray-painted asses. That's the title that Ben Shapiro decided will be good for this video. I'm sure we've all seen the video of the woman who was in the gym doing some kind of, I think she was doing a leg and abs workout. I'm not entirely sure what one it was, but there was a dude behind her that looked at her a couple of times and then came over to get wipes for his equipment, asked her if she needed help with her weights, and then walked off. And she made some fairly odd comments about it. I mean, obviously the dude was probably, I don't want to make assumptions, but it kind of looked like he was trying to create a further conversation with her, because, like, generally speaking, once he helps her with the weight, he might ask a couple more questions. I don't know, try and have a further conversation. In his mind, that leads to a conversation outside the gym, might lead to something else. You know, generally speaking, the gym is not the place to try and pick up a date. But I do think she had a bit of an overreaction, because he immediately backed off as soon as she said no, which not everyone will do. I think he actually doesn't deserve the amount of backlash he got for doing what he did. I mean, it is a bit weird to just come over to someone and pick up the weight and then ask if they need help. I generally speaking just point at the weight and say, do you need any help with that? But I do respect him for just, like, walking off. But this video, I would assume that Ben Shapiro's made is inspired by that. So I wanted to watch this and see what his take on the whole situation is.
Okay, time for a thing that I hate. So today, I've seen a TikTok storm of viral videos about women complaining about men looking at them at the gym. This apparently is like a thing. Women claim to be, it used to be that in order to be victimized in American society, you actually had to be a victim. Now you're a victim if you go to the gym dressed in booty shorts and a bra and men give you sideways glances.
Okay, immediately. Ben, my guy, that's what people wear in the gym. People wear shorts and, you know, if you're a man, probably a t-shirt. If you're a woman, I don't know, like a sports bra, a t-shirt, something that won't make you overheat while you're working out. That makes sense, doesn't it? That just, I would have assumed that just generally speaking makes sense. I need to go back just to really...
In order to be victimized in American society, you actually had...
Victimized? As far as I'm aware, no one in those videos are claiming to be victims. I'm pretty sure they just think it's a bit weird that dudes are staring at them. I would be, you know, I would think it's a bit weird as well if someone stared at me in the gym. It'd be a bit odd.
Now you're a victim if you go to the gym dressed in booty shorts and a bra and men give you sideways glances. That apparently is like the height of victimhood. I agree that women are victimized if some guy puts his hands on them when they don't want to have their hands put on them. Obviously. I'll agree that women are victimized if men, without regard for the woman, just stare at them, or just stare for prolonged periods of time. But that's not what we're talking about here. What we are talking about is attractive women on TikTok who are seeking attention, which is why they are on TikTok, filming themselves at the gym, wearing extraordinarily tight clothing and bare mid...
Saying that someone wants attention because they're on TikTok, yeah, for sure. Makes sense. Right, that makes sense. I also agree it's a bit weird to film yourself in the gym. I made a tweet about this, basically, literally just saying, stop filming yourself in the gym. It's weird. Because it is. I don't know why anyone would film themselves in the gym. I understand if you're taking a picture, like to show progress, if you're taking like before and after pictures of your progress over a couple of months or a couple of years even, that makes sense. I think anyone should be proud of their progress in the gym, no matter what you're doing. But filming yourself in the gym for no reason in particular is a bit strange.
But that's not what we're talking about here. What we are talking about is attractive women on TikTok who are seeking attention, which is why they are on TikTok, filming themselves at the gym, wearing extraordinarily tight clothing and bare midriff, and then they are surprised that men are looking at them occasionally. Now, let's be real about that.
Okay. Oh, man. I'm going to pull up a tweet that I saw, because if you want to talk about people being stared at in the gym for what they're wearing, I've got a real good one for you. This. I'll mute the... Like, look at this dude. Look at him. If you want to talk about people going to the gym who are dressing in a way that clearly means they want people to look at them, that is what you should be talking about. That right there is what you should be talking about. Like, you can tell by this guy's expression, he's not impressed. He's just going, what is that dude doing? Like, is it impressive, like the exercises? Sure. But the fact that he's wearing this is not. It's just weird, you know? And then you've got people like this. She wasn't terrorized, she was drooling. Are you sure? I don't know if that's the face of someone that's drooling or like even slightly impressed. If someone looked at me like that, I'd be like, oh no, what have I done wrong? Dudes like this are just not socially aware enough to realize that what they're doing is weird. It's not cool. This is just weird. You're just a weirdo. Please stop going to the gym, filming yourself, specifically so people will look at you. Because that's what this guy is doing. In terms of what Ben Shapiro is talking about, I don't think those people are going to the gym just to have themselves looked at. I don't think they're specifically going there for attention. Seems a bit weird to suggest that.
And then they are surprised that men are looking at them occasionally. Now, let's be real about this. This is how many dates in the United States and everywhere else have started. A man sees an attractive woman and he walks up to her and he asks her out. This is how most of human civilization
Yeah, but not in the gym. Not in the gym. What?
was propagated, as it turns out. And the entire future of civilization rests on men and women getting together and making babies. You know how that usually is initiated? The same way it is throughout virtually all species. A male finds a female sexually attractive, and then he walks up to her, and then he says something.
Not necessarily. It could be a woman going up to a man. I don't know why he didn't suggest that one. That's too far out there for the mind of an American conservative, I think. Obviously, that's a joke, but did he not think about that? Like, I don't know.
Female, sexually attractive. And then he walks up to her, and then he says something.
That's also not 100% true either. Like, you don't have to find someone sexually attractive. I mean, there's probably plenty of relationships that have started because people have had a fun conversation. Like, not all relationships are based on whether or not the man is attractive or attracted to the woman. That's a bit of a strange thing to suggest.
The notion that the physical has nothing to do with anything, that we are a series of souls that kind of meet each other randomly in the universe, it's just silly.
Once again, that's not what people are saying. That's not, the majority of people do not believe that. You can have a conversation with someone that you don't find attractive and find their personality attractive. Does that make sense? I don't understand how that doesn't make sense. But you can have a conversation with someone, right, that you have seen that you don't think is particularly attractive. You have a conversation with them, you find out they're a really cool person. You might end up just becoming friends. You might end up becoming friends and then later on deciding to become partners. Or you might immediately realize that, oh my god, this is who I've been looking for. They share all of my interests. They're a cool person in general. Why not? You know, not all relationships are based on physical aspects. That's definitely strange to suggest.
But here are some of these videos. By the way, the men in these videos are being now castigated as being gross and terrible. What is the... We'll go through this video. I want to watch it with you. And we're going to decide together whether the guy in the background, who this woman is now targeting, she says this is not how to approach girls at the gym. We'll see whether he does something truly egregious and wrong.
This is how to not approach girls at the gym.
This is exactly the video I was talking about.
Bleeping behind me.
Makes me so uncomfortable.
I hate when there's weirdos. It gets me so uncomfortable.
Feral, like feral.
Feral?
There's mirrors everywhere, so it's like you can easily catch people. Act. Oh, this is nothing. Okay, we're gonna move on to the 35s now. I want you to watch very carefully.
Stare counter. Why is he staring so long? That is less than a second and a half.
5 ads.
That one is not even a stare. That is a glance. This is what women mean by staring at her like a piece of meat. Why is he walking over? Oh no, he was walking over to
Yeah, but man, do you see the way he walked over? Like, do you see the way he stood up to walk over? Like, if you see anyone getting up to like walk over to you like that, you can immediately assume that they're like trying to impress you. Immediately you can assume that, because like the way he got up, I'll show you. If someone you know stands up like this, right? They stand up and they immediately are like, it's like obviously they are going to be trying to attract you or trying to impress you or something along those lines. It's obviously not going to be a case of someone just wanting to walk over to help. You know what I mean? But we'll watch the rest of the video. We'll see where Ben Shapiro's going with this. He might make a good point. I don't know.
Oh no. He was walking over to offer to help her with her weight, and she says no, and he walks away. Oh, the victimization. Oh, the terribleness. Okay, so a couple of things. Yeah, I work out every single day. I'm just wondering why. It's not the only video like this, by the way. Like, here's another video like this. We'll go through another video like this. There's another woman. She takes off her shirt at the gym, and a guy looks at her. So let me just point this out to you. If a woman takes off her shirt anywhere in public, men will look at her. I'm sorry to break to you basic lizard brain biology. It's going to happen. I'll get into the actual scientific biology of this in just one second because it's very real. But here's another one of these videos. Again, men are bad because they look at women taking off their shirts. By the way, if you say that pornography is bad, you're also a prude. Anyway, here we go.
Hold on. What? I'm pretty sure he's talking about the fact that he wrote a book. I'm pretty sure he wrote an entire book basically calling out the fact that pornography is evil. I don't think I need to make this point, but it's not inherently bad. I don't think I needed to make that point, but apparently some people don't realize that. I don't know, man. I mean, obviously the industry, as with any industry, it can involve quite a bit of exploitation. But you could say that about the music industry. I mean, look at record labels, right? They take the majority of what an artist earns. Artists, any musicians now, in the current way that the music industry works, any musician that makes music earns the majority of their revenue from live shows. It used to be the other way around. The live shows used to be to promote the music, whereas now the music promotes the live shows. It's very strange. And I'm pretty sure artists make more money off merchandise than they do off selling CDs and records, which is crazy. You put half the amount of effort in, less than half the amount of effort in, into making merch than you do making music. And I know from the perspective of someone who makes music, it's very hard. It's very difficult to make something that sounds good. A few of my songs have like nearly 15,000 streams. I've earned less than €100 in my 3 years, almost 4 actually. I think, let's say 4 years I've had music on Spotify. I've earned less than €100, and I'd say like nearly every song I have has over 1,000 streams, and I have like 6 albums. You know, it's crazy. But you get the idea. You get what I'm trying to say. Every industry is like that. Obviously, the music industry is a lot worse than some of the other ones, but every industry is like that. Saying pornography itself is bad is like saying that music itself is bad. There is some bad stuff out there. There's some stuff out there that is made in a way that it certainly shouldn't be, but that doesn't make the entire thing bad. You know what I mean?
I stand up for myself. He threatens to call the police and revoke my membership.
So here she is taking off her shirt, and a guy looks at her. Oh no, in the mirror, there's a guy who's looking as a woman takes off her shirt. Unprecedented. And he says, oh damn, because a woman is taking off her shirt. And then she just stands there still taking off her shirt.
Do you need something? Okay, I thought so.
And she's gonna yell at him, do you need something? Okay, I thought so. He's like, I don't even know what you're talking about, lady.
I don't own the gym, I work here. Yes. And if you're getting rude, then you can leave.
That means what?
I can call the police and have you trespass right now. Would you like that?
Go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead, let him know.
And by the way, normally we would call this lady, based on the race of the people involved, a Karen, would we not? Right? She's a young...
What? Okay, first to address the video. She's not just taking her shirt off. She's wearing a sports bra, which is fairly normal to wear in a gym. I don't think there should be so much weirdness around, you know, wearing a sports bra. I feel like a lot of people make it a very weird thing. I think wearing clothes in general, there's so many like certain types of clothes that we wear that if we wear them out in public, it's like, oh my god, you can't do that. That's so weird. Why is there such a, I don't know, why is it such a big issue with people wearing what they want to wear? Unless you're actually literally walking around like naked, or very, very, very close to being naked. Other than that, I don't see the problem. I think we've overly sexualized certain items of clothing, such as just sports bras and underwear in general. I think it's very strange. Because, I mean, I'm aware of the fact that it is illegal to walk around completely naked, and it is a little weird, but the only reason that we think it's a little weird is because we have decided as a society that nudity is inherently sexual, which it's not, because, like, you know, nude beaches exist, and it's illegal, as far as I'm aware, it's illegal on nearly every nude beach in the world to actually engage in any kind of sexual activity. But it's not illegal to be nude on those nude beaches because they're trying to make nudity not inherently sexual, which I think is great, because I don't think it should be considered that way. I think it's a bit weird to consider it that way. So it's the same with like a sports bra. It's not a weird thing to wear, especially in a gym where, like, I'd say the majority of people in there are wearing shorts that are like more than halfway up their thighs, like these super short shorts. Even the dudes are wearing shorts like this, right? Wearing super tight t-shirts. You see a lot of dudes with like super tight t-shirts on, which you could say, oh my god, look at that dude, like, why is he wearing that super tight t-shirt? Is it just to show off his chest and his muscles? But like, Ben Shapiro's not going to think like that, because you know, he doesn't think about men. You know, Ben Shapiro can't think like that, because then that'll be gay. Gay is bad.
And by the way, normally we would call this lady, based on the race of the people involved, a Karen, would we not?
Also, yeah, that's a bit weird. It's a weird thing to say. He's jumping on the whole Karen thing a bit too late. I think most people have stopped saying that now at this point. That was a meme, like that whole Karen thing. That was just a meme. The majority of the Karen videos were fake. I forgot to actually give my opinion on the video. I think it's a bit silly that she kind of went off on that dude. I do think it's a bit silly. But this isn't an example of all women, which I'm sure Ben Shapiro will try and make it seem like that. She probably, I mean, I don't want to say this and then immediately regret saying it, because I probably will. But I don't doubt that there are some women who go in and film themselves specifically to catch dudes doing this kind of thing. There's a chance, you know, that she did. Good chance she didn't. And she was having a bad day or something. I don't know. This isn't an example of all women. Not all women are going to do this. I think it's a bit weird to suggest that. We just watch the video again. Where's the bit where he actually... So we just go through it like frame by frame. Right? Like, in fairness, that isn't just a look, right? But at the same time, he probably saw out of the corner of his eye someone taking their shirt off, and he looked over, saw it was a woman. He works there. He's probably just trying to make sure that she's not taking more than that off, if that makes sense. That's my thought process on that. As someone who works there, you have more responsibility to make sure people are actually behaving in the gym, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's just something I'm thinking.
Okay, I thought so.
He
You
could have
can yell
left
at
it
him.
there.
Do you need something? Okay, I thought so. He's like, I don't even...
So he just keeps going. You know, that's a bit weird. that he kept going with it. I feel like he could have just left it at, you know, we'll go back.
Okay, I thought so.
Okay.
No, and she said, okay, I thought so. He'd be like, okay, cool, walk off. You know, leave it there. You don't need to be super confrontational in the gym or anywhere. You just say, no. She says, okay, I thought so. You don't need to follow that up. You don't need to be the big dude in the gym. You know what I'm saying? You just take that and walk. Be the bigger person, as they say. Just walk away. I don't know if that makes sense. Liberal actual Archer. No, you got me. God damn. I'm so liberal. I love liberalism.
I don't own the gym. I work here.
I do think it's a bit weird that he just keeps going with it. It's a bit strange.
Have a trespass right now. Would you like that?
Go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead, let him know.
It kind of seems like he's causing an argument on purpose. I don't know if that's just me.
And by the way, normally we would call this lady, based on the race of the people involved, a Karen, would we not? Right? She's a young lady who does not seem to be of color, who is harassing a black man who didn't do anything particularly wrong. Other things that we
You know, this isn't a conversation about race. I don't know why Ben Shapiro brought race into it. This isn't a conversation about race. No one was looking at their race. I certainly wasn't paying attention to that. I don't know why he brought that into it.
should point out here. When women spray paint their asses and then wear bras and bare their midriffs in public, men are going to look at them. Again, hate to break this to you. That is the reality. As I say, I work out at the gym every single day. And there are women who come in and do not wear this sort of stuff. And guess what? They don't get stared at as much. I don't know how the patriarchy convinced women that the most efficient form of workout material was to essentially wear things that hug the body as closely as humanly possible and bear as much skin as possible. But
because that... What? What? He's saying that clothing that doesn't cover your body, for example, a sports bra and a pair of tight shorts. I say tight, but the kind of material that stretches rather easily. That is literally the definition of gym clothing. It's the type of clothing that you wear specifically so that when you sweat, it doesn't stay in your clothing and it doesn't make your clothing stick to you, which is probably a lot worse if you're in the gym than clothing like that. That is very tight, very stretchy. It allows you to move properly. It's just weird to say that that's not something you should wear in the gym, because it is. I think more people should feel comfortable wearing that kind of clothing in the gym. A bit weird to say they shouldn't.
patriarchy has magic powers, apparently. It is not sexist to point out that men are going to look at scantily clad women in a different... Again, look at the...
Scantily clad. Scantily clad.
She's... listen, I made...
Scantily clad. That's horrific. Like, she's showing that much skin. Literally. It's a pair of, like, leggings and a shirt that shows that much skin. Scantily clad. Tight clothing is sexual, by the way. If you ever see a cyclist out on the road, they're sexually assaulting you because they're scantily clad, and they really shouldn't wear that in public.
I made this case to my friend Allie Beth Stuckey, who's like, yeah, yoga pants are fine. Yeah, women can wear yoga pants, but don't be surprised when men stare at you because it hugs your ass. That's just the reality. And when I say stare, it doesn't mean the men should gawk at you, but if a man takes an occasional glance at the fact that you have a spray-painted ass, that is not a shock. That is not sexism.
Oh my god. If a man stares at a woman, in general, it is weird, okay? It's just weird. Does he not get that? Does he not understand? Does it not make sense? I feel like that makes sense.
An occasional glance at the fact that
An occasional glance, I agree. I agree that an occasional glance should be, generally speaking, considered not that bad. Because if you're glancing at someone, you're not specifically looking at them on purpose. I mean, there's the occasional time I glance at someone on the bus, and then they stare at me for a couple of minutes because I looked at them, and I'm like, I looked at you by accident. I'm not even looking at you on purpose. All right? Someone sits next to me on the bus, I might occasionally look over, see who it is, and then look away. It could be someone I know, you know? I want to make sure it's not someone weird like Ben Shapiro sitting next to me on the bus. Staring and glancing are very different things. Someone should give Ben Shapiro a dictionary for his birthday or something.
You have a spray-painted ass. That is not a shock. That is not sexism. That is basic human biology. We'll get to that in just 1 second. First, let's talk about a simple fact. You will die. I know. Bad news. Didn't mean to break it to you this way. But we are all going to plot at some point. And that means that you need life insurance. Anyone who's a responsible human being needs life insurance.
No way he got...
Simple fact.
No way he got sponsored by a life insurance company. What? Yo, what?
If you've got a family and you plot, it's not just the funeral costs, it's your loss of income that's going to be a serious problem. And the life insurance that you get through your job probably is not going to cover what you need. Not only that, the more time you wait, the more expensive the life insurance is going to get.
Can you imagine looking for a job specifically for life insurance? That is what capitalism is right there. Can you imagine if taxpayer money went towards the cost of funerals instead of, like, you know, your own money? That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Can you imagine if capitalism wasn't a thing? Oh my god. Can't believe I just said that. Oh no. I'm gonna trigger so many people. So many liberals, so many snowflakes are gonna get so triggered by me saying that capitalism is bad. Oh no. Jesus Christ, dude. Dude, you can't just pin your own chats. Wait, can I? Oh, I can set it to unpin after a certain amount of time. It says who? Me. I'm like the moderator of the moderators, you know? It's a pyramid. I love pyramids. Speaking of which, I have a lovely multi-level marketing scheme to promote to you guys. It's my sponsorship. That's right, we're doing it again. Dubby Energy. We all love Dubby Energy. Use code ActualArcher. One word, no spaces, ActualArcher, no space. Please don't forget there's no space. Dubby.gg. Enter that code at checkout. You get a 10% discount. What? 10%? That's so much. You're really showing those millionaires, you're really showing it to them by paying 10% less. Advertising gamer juice. That's right. Energy drinks, but you make it yourself with a powder. I haven't tried it myself, but it is, from what I can see, one of the healthier options out there. So go check it out. It's cool. Go check it out. Anyway, let's get back to the let's get back to the video. Jesus Christ, you made a sponsorship 2 minutes long. Oh God. It's a 2-minute long sponsor. Jesus Christ. All right. We'll just skip to the end. I don't really care. I'm never going to be sponsored by a life insurance company, so I don't really care who it is.
My favorite part of American society is now the idea that men have to walk around like Sandra Bullock in Bird Box. They're going to walk around with like a blindfold on all day long. And oh my God, he glanced over at me despite me dressing like this. Yes.
Oh my God, that was great. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Let's do that one more time. Oh yeah. I love that. That's oh yeah.
Glanced over at me despite yes.
That's fantastic. Oh, that's amazing. That's such a good clip.
We all understand this, but then we have to pretend not to understand this so as not to be perceived as quote unquote sexist. It's not sexist, as it turns out, actually. You know what? I'm going to do the science right now. Hey, you want to know why this is not sexist? Quote. This is from Scientific American. Our brains see men as whole and women as parts. Evolution might underlie the different processing of female versus male bodies. Both genders do it. A glimpse at the magazine rack in any supermarket checkout line will tell you that women are frequently the focus of sexual objectification. Now, new research finds the brain actually processes images of women differently than those of men, contributing to that trend. Women are more likely to be picked apart by the human brain and seen as parts rather than as wholes. That is correct, according to research published online June 29th in the European Journal of Social Psychology. Men, on the other hand, are processed as a whole rather than the sum of their parts. Again, none of this is particularly shocking, considering that by evolutionary biological standards, men are going to be adjudicated based on their strength and their success rate for reproductive possibility, and women are generally predicted for reproductive possibility. I'm talking about in the animal kingdom, not even among human beings, for youth, fertility, beauty, right? These are all biologically based.
Oh, careful with that one, Ben. You want to be careful with that one. Youth and fertility. You want to be careful with that one, Ben. We've seen some unfortunate clips of some right-wingers saying some very strange things when it comes to youth and fertility. You want to be careful with that one.
For youth, fertility, beauty, right? These are all biologically based. The study author, Sarah Gervais, a psychologist at University of Nebraska, said, everyday ordinary women are being reduced to their sexual body parts. But she says, it's also that, like, that's just what people do.
If you're a right-winger, that's what you believe. End of story. If you don't want to be accused of thinking like that, stop voting for the right. Become a liberal. Become a leftist now.
Body parts. But she says, it's also that, like, that's just what people do. The researchers focused on two types of mental processing, global and local. Global processing is how the brain identifies objects as a whole. It tends to be used when recognizing people, where it's not just important to know the shape of the nose, for example, but also how the nose sits in relation to the eyes and the mouth. Local processing focuses more on the individual parts of an object. You might recognize a house by its door alone, for instance. You're less likely to recognize a person's arm without the benefit of seeing the rest of her body. If women are sexually objectified, people should process their bodies in a more local way, focusing on individual body parts like breasts. To test that idea, Gervais and her colleagues carried out two nearly identical experiments with a total of 227 undergraduate participants. Each person was shown non-sexualized photographs, each of either a young man or a young woman, 48 in total. After seeing each original full-body image, the participants saw two side-by-side photographs. One was the original image, the other was the original with a slight alteration to the chest or waist, because these are sexualized body parts. Participants had to pick which image they'd seen before. In some cases, the second set of photos zoomed in on the chest or waist only, asking participants to pick the body part they'd previously seen versus the one that had been altered. The results showed a clear schism between the images of men and women. When viewing female images, participants were better at recognizing individual parts than they were matching whole body photographs to the originals. The opposite was true for males. People were better at recognizing a dude as a whole than they were his individual parts. And it's both men and women doing this to women, so don't blame the men here, says Gervais. Why? Largely because, again, this is how men look at women. This does not mean that this is how men end up looking at women in a relationship. This is why relationships are supposed to be predicated not on sexual attractiveness, that is the original attraction. They are then supposed to be predicated on seeing the person as a whole. That is what happens over the course of, say, a marriage. This is why commitment matters in relationships, because ladies, bit of personal advice, men at the beginning are going to see you more as a collection of beauty and body parts than they are as a soul. And the more they get to know you, and the more you hold off on the physical components of the relationship, the more they're going to have to get to know the whole you and maybe commit to the whole you. When women complain that they're being treated as pieces of meat by men while going on one-night stands, the answer is, that's terrible that men are doing that to you. Also, of course that's true. Of course that's true.
This whole ramble is very interesting, isn't it? I sure do love science. I sure do love basing my entire talking point off one study. One study. The study basically said that, like, everyone looks at women differently to how they look at men. And we know this because when we made the chest of every woman bigger, people noticed it more than when we made the chest of every man bigger. I'm pretty sure the reason for that is not because of our biology, but because of the way we've been socially programmed to think about women. I don't know if that is something that Ben Shapiro thought about there. The whole social programming thing is real. For example, you can show me as many studies as you like saying that the COVID vaccine doesn't work. There are more studies out there that show that it does work, but there are still people who think it doesn't because, oh, but look, there's 3 studies that say it doesn't work, and my entire family and my entire community thinks it doesn't work. That's them being programmed. They're being brainwashed to think that the vaccine doesn't work. Even Trump got the vaccine. Donald Trump got the vaccine. And Trump supporters were still saying, no, I can't get that. Can't get the vaccine because, have you not seen those videos where when the people got the vaccines, they became magnets, like they could stick spoons to their foreheads? It's like, yeah, but that's not real. They're not real. They aren't real videos. There's no scientific evidence to back that claim up. It's just a fake video. They probably found it on, like, TikTok. Actually, no, they probably found it on Facebook. It was probably reposted from TikTok to Facebook. It's like, it went from all vaccines cause autism to this particular COVID vaccine causes magnetization. You turn into a magnet. And this was backed by some doctor in America who said, yep, that's right. And because of that, it was programmed into people's brains that, like, the vaccine causes you to become a magnet, which is just incredibly wrong. But then, of course, you've got other claims, like, you know, the whole thing about the vaccine causes blood clots. This is one that was brought up to me recently. I decided to do some research into it. It's roughly, I think it's roughly 20, I can't remember exactly. It's like 20 people, 10 to 20 people per million people that get the vaccine could develop blood clots. And it could be dangerous because you can get blood clots in your lungs. That's not very good. Blood clots near your heart, that can cause some serious problems. But it's something like 4,000 people per million that get COVID die. You don't necessarily die from blood clots, but those 4,000 people died, you know? And that's per million. So you're a lot more likely to just die than you are to, you know, get a blood clot. Join the Discord? No, I'm watching Ben Shapiro. I gotta watch Ben Shapiro. I got too much Ben Shapiro to watch. Too much Ben Shapiroing.
The longer you are with a person, the more of their soul you see, the more of the whole them you see. Women tend to be better at this with regard to men. But as it turns out, women actually do this with women also. Why? Because women compare themselves to other women. Simple fact of life, women dress.
Well, if that was true, then there would be the study would show that men look at men that way, right? Because surely if women judge themselves based on the appearance of other women, then men do that too. Unless he's saying that, you know, you inherently think differently about yourself when you're, you know, a different sex, which is, I don't know about that one. He's got some very strange talking points here that I'm finding it not only hard to respond to them, finding it hard to comprehend how he's coming up with them to respond to them. It's
compare themselves to other women. Simple fact of life, women dress for other women, for example. Women don't dress for men. They dress to impress other women. Anyway, we'll go back to this video.
Yes, that's a simple fact of life, by the way. Women dress to impress other women. Simple fact of life. Thank you, Ben Shapiro, a man, for telling me how women think. I really am glad that he did that. I mean, obviously, some women dress to impress other women, the same way that some men dress to impress other men. But no, oh my god, no, you can't think like that. That's gay. That's gay. You can't think like that. Ben and his godlike generalization skills. Exactly. He can't go a minute without saying, this entire group of people does this thing.
Anyway, we'll go back to this video where apparently
a lot of people don't dress to impress anyone. Plenty of people that will happily go outside in a pair of tracksuit bottoms and a t-shirt. For the Americans watching, that would be a pair of sweatpants. Plenty of people that just go out dressed like that, right? And that's perfectly fine. That's normal. Normal people do that. Normal people do not dress to impress anyone. They just dress the way they want to. Unless you're going for a job interview, then you should dress to impress whoever your interviewer is. It doesn't matter if the person that's doing the interview is a man or a woman. You're just dressing to impress that person in general. Don't worry, you can delete your own messages there. Just delete your message, pal. No one will know it happened. Except for the fact that the VOD will exist afterwards and it's on my screen. Well, it was on my screen when I you just pinned it.
Simple fact of life: women dress for other women. For example,
yeah.
women don't.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what he was talking about. Women solely dress to impress other women. There's no other reason to be dressed at all. That's funny.
Don't dress for men. They dress to impress other women. Anyway, we'll go back to this video where apparently it's very creepy if a person glances at you when you wear spray-painted ass clothes.
This
Ass clothes. I like that one. Ass clothes. What, do you not want them to wear clothing on their ass? Do you not like that, Ben? Would you prefer people not wear clothing on their lower half? Is that something you would prefer, Ben? Ass clothes. I like that. That's funny.
creepy
stare at
old
glance.
guy at the gym kept coming over and staring at me. So I told my husband, and he came over and worked out next to me. Even after he came over, he continued to stare. I decided to stop working out and stare.
Look at that. That is weird. Look at him.
So I told my husband.
Look at him. You can clearly tell he's staring. That's just weird. This isn't something that Ben can defend. It will be weird if Ben tries to defend this. She's just working out. It's very weird that he's just staring. He's just completely socially unaware of the fact that, like, that's strange behavior. I want to see how intellectual mastermind Ben Shapiro defends this
And
one.
he came over and worked out next to me. Even after he came over, he continued to stare. I decided to stop working out and stare back. I attempted to do my set. Then I got fed up and went over and addressed him.
Okay, here she goes. She's going to go over and address this guy. Again, you saw in this video him for a grand total of like 3 seconds, maybe?
I told him if he's gonna work out in this corner, he needed to stop staring and making me uncomfortable.
Okay, so again, you are filming yourself at the gym to do this. And this has become a way of grabbing sort of victimhood, but a couple of quick solutions for all.
Okay, hold on. He's saying that, like, they're filming themselves at the gym specifically for this, and that's bad. Like, catching weirdos doing weird things on purpose is bad. That's like saying police wearing body cams to catch police doing bad things is bad, or police wearing body cams to have evidence. No, that's bad. It's a bit weird to say that, like, you shouldn't on purpose film someone being really weird. I think it's probably a good thing to do, to film someone if they're doing something that is weird. Not weird in a way that, like, you know, I don't know, they're like eating their food with like their feet or something. Like, you know, just leave that person alone. They let them do what they want to do. But weird in the sense that it affects someone else. Obviously, yeah, there's nothing wrong with filming that. You probably should, to have evidence that they're doing it. But also, not everyone is filming themselves on purpose in the gym to catch people doing this. There's probably quite a few people that just film themselves in the gym to film themselves and end up catching people like this. It's not like Pokemon Go, you know, you're not going out specifically to catch people.
A couple of quick solutions for all of this. Okay, one, you could theoretically have separate gyms. There are a lot of women in the Orthodox Jewish community who prefer to work out at separate gyms specifically to avoid this, right? They work out at female-only gyms, or males work out at male-only gyms. Another way to avoid this.
I mean, yeah, that's an option, but not everyone wants to do that. You're just you're creating a bigger divide between men and women. I mean, I fully understand if someone is more comfortable by doing that. That makes sense, doesn't it? But I don't know, man. Seems a little strange to suggest that that's the solution. I think the solution would be to stop, like, I don't know, to make it less acceptable for men to be weird. I mean, it already isn't really acceptable for a man to sit there and stare at a woman in the gym. It's already pretty weird to do that.
Another way to avoid this is presumably that you work out with a group of women. You could do that. There are many.
That seems like basically the same thing. That essentially sounds like the same thing. The first point was just go to a gym where there's only women, and then the second point was work out in a group of women.
Many things that can be done if this really bothers you. There are things that you can do to alleviate this problem. But pretending that men are not going to glance at you, or that can be alleviated by societally beating it out of them, or by shaming them on TikTok is ridiculous. Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show is continuing.
Okay. Oh man. He's literally just trying to defend the idea of staring at women in the gym. That's really, really strange. Considering he said that he himself goes to the gym, it is really strange to even attempt to defend that. Obviously, if you're a guy and you happen to glance at a woman and you see yourself on a TikTok, yeah, it's going to be a bit uncomfortable. You're going to go, hey, wait a minute, that's not what was happening. I just accidentally looked over. Like, this isn't what's going on. But if there's a video like that last one of a dude sitting there actually staring at a woman while she's just trying to work out, then yeah, that's weird. It's very weird. I don't know what else to say. It is bizarre to just sit there and stare at anyone in the gym.